How did the polls go in South Africa?
Thank you. It went very well. First of all, I would like to thank the government of South Africa, as the National Electoral Commission of South Africa supported us with some electoral material. We also appreciate the security by the diplomatic police throughout in Cape Town and here in Pretoria. So it went very well, more than what we expected. We saw Rwandans coming from Swaziland, from Maseru, from Durban, just to come and cast their votes in Pretoria. And Cape Town, they just closed at 8 o'clock, and they still had queues voting at the final hour.
Do you have any idea how many?
Maputo is also doing very well, and they've closed.
How many? Do you have any idea how many Rwandans outside Rwanda will be voting?
About 980, because they were registered before. But some have traveled to other places, and some other Rwandans were in transit here. So we do those compensation. The maximum will be 1,000, but yeah, around that.
So many people will say that this is a foregone conclusion. I mean, the president won the last election by 93%. Has much changed since then?
I don't see much change. His popularity continued to increase because every year and every time the performance of the government of Rwanda in transforming the lives of people is growing. However, it is still important that the competition, the open elections, and the renewed trust are going through the ballot box. So that we are sure that we are on the right track.
Why do you think the president remains this popular? He's been at the helm 17 years, and it will be 24 at the end of this term if he wins.
Yeah, it may sound too long for very stable countries that have been enjoying democracy for many years, that have been having stable institutions and united people. But for a country devastated in '94, for a country that the whole world thought it was going to be a failed state, in most cases he came with solutions that were very unconventional, and they have been working, and a lot of homegrown solutions. So he's vivid, he's very connected to the people of Rwanda. He's he fast-tracked development through performance contracts, institutional capacity building, and serious monitoring and evaluation. Security, environment, all sectors in Rwanda have been changing under his leadership, yet we are a country with limited resources. So he's so connected to the people, to the youth, to the women, and he has created platforms and new ways, or very Rwandan ways, of dealing with issues in our country, be it justice, be it social cohesion, or cooperatives and SMMEs and economic transformation at large.
So now your constitution had set term limits for presidents, and this would have been something that was carefully considered. And when his second term came to an end, there was a referendum to change that. Why was that? Surely there must have been some wisdom in limiting the terms of presidents?
Sure, there was some wisdom, and the president was very fine with it. However, democracy means the will of the people. Petitions came in small numbers, and then they kept on growing until when 4 million out of 6 million voters decided to put the right pressure on Parliament so that he could come back, he could be allowed to vote. And the change that occurred in our constitution did not affect the future of our term limits. It has just introduced a special derogation for a special president in a special country with very many fragilities that we are still trying to weld and pulled together.
So what do you say when we read stories of opponents saying that the president actually, despite the gains that Rwanda has made and the successes that are quite clear to see, that he's actually authoritarian, he suppresses opposition voices, jails them, and even kills opponents?
We don't have any opposition jailed. We have people who have transcended or did not respect the constitution in terms of genocide ideology or divisionism. So people who have come with that, either they were from the media or politicians, definitely they faced court charges, not because they were doing opposition, but because they were engaging in a path that all Rwandans, through a referendum that put up the constitution, do not allow such a kind of politics based on ethnic divisionism or the hatred of the past to emerge. And as you know, especially here, we have some detractors who come as military disgruntled from our army, and they position themselves now as opposition, but they have never been opposition because they've been part of the system that is currently running Rwanda until when they were out of Rwanda because they were wanted for charges within their own occupations, jobs or previous jobs. And then while abroad, they pretend that they've been forced out because they were in opposition. They've never been in opposition. Prove me the contrary. Show me the statement they made in the country as opposition, or tell me the movement they were running as opposition movement.
All right, Your Excellency, perhaps as a final question, there are two other candidates in this particular election. What has the president been campaigning on? What are his hopes and what has he promised the Rwandans for the next 7 years?
The president or the two new candidates?
The president.
The president promised to continue on the same path, and he highlighted areas where we need more efforts, mainly energy and economy, jobs, so that we can reduce or eliminate the support we continue to receive as aid to complement our budget or our development programs. His vision is to have a Rwanda that is self-reliant completely.
Your Excellency, that's where we're going to leave it for this evening. Thank you very much indeed, and we wish you the best of luck with your elections tomorrow.